As the Minister for Women, I call the member for Walkham Hills.
Thank you, Mr Acting Speaker. And I rise to brief the House on a number of community developments occurring in the Walkham Hills electorate and the broader Hills Shire. Mr Acting Speaker, it's with pleasure that I rise to inform the House of these exciting developments because, as many people are aware, my electorate of Walkham Hills is unique in its nature of being a very family-orientated yet still very much a semi-rural electorate. And I recognise in the House the member for Castle Hill, my neighbour, who I'm sure will join me in congratulating those that have been involved in some of the recent activities and the activities to be planned around our home. I'm sure members will know that the Hills is one of the most vibrant and family-friendly communities in New South Wales, if not indeed the entire country. That's why I've got a great deal of satisfaction to inform of these dynamic events and the fact that our community is going from strength to strength. Mr Acting Speaker, it should come as no surprise to those who know anything about the Hills Shire that the great pride that the Hills residents rightly have in their district. One of these developments is the relocation of the War Memorial from Arthur Whitling Park in Castle Hill, in my neighbouring, the electorate neighbouring mine, to the more spacious location at Wrights Road Reserve at Kellyville. Well, technically it is Castle Hill, but we know it as Wrights Road Reserve, Kellyville. This relocation will be completed in time for Anzac Day this year, and the people of the Hills are very proud of the great sacrifices that our men and servicemen and women have made, with every dawn service well attended in the Hills District. And I acknowledge, Mr Acting Speaker, the fact that we've had up to more than 5,000 people attend our annual dawn service. I'm sure that this strong tradition will continue with the remembrance of the War Memorial in its new location, particularly as we approach the centenary of Anzac. Of particular interest is the current push to rename Wrights Road Reserve to the Centenary of Anzac Reserve, which the member for Castle Hill and I are very keen to have put in the public debate. This would naturally be very appropriate given the build-up towards the Centenary of Anzac and the enduring significance of Anzac to the Australian people 100 years on. I join the community in commending this name change, and I'm hopeful that the name change will be approved soon. If I can just get the House's indulgence, Mr Acting Speaker, on behalf of the member for Castle Hill, would like to congratulate Colonel Don Tate, OAM, who is the chairman of our sub-branch, RSL sub-branch, on his re-election as RSL president last week. Another exciting development is the move of the historic New South Wales Open Golf Championship to Castle Hill Country Club later this year. The New South Wales Open Golf Championship is one of the most admired golfing events on the calendar. It is wonderful news that this highly prized competition is coming to the electorate of Walkham Hills. I wish to commend Golf New South Wales on their excellent choice of venue, and I'm sure we will live up to all expectations. I want to congratulate Castle Hill Country Club President David Geraghty and his team for bringing the New South Wales Open Golf Championships to the Hills, and wish them all the best for the championships. And if I just also pause there, Mr Acting Speaker, and highlight, even though it's called Castle Hill Country Club, it is in fact in my electorate of Walkham Hills. Some of the challenges that the member for Castle Hill and I quite regularly have to face. Not that we complain about these challenges at all. Finally, I'd like to commend and congratulate the Castle Hill and Hills District Agricultural Society on yet another very successful Castle Hill show. The Castle Hill show is certainly one of our oldest and most cherished community occasions, with thousands of people from all over Sydney turning up each year. The Castle Hill show has become such a staple of life in the Hills District over the past 127 years that it is hard to imagine the Hills District without it. The Castle Hill show continues to grow, and it is excellent to see the community getting the most out of the Castle Hill showground, and long may that be the case. Since the 1880s, the show's continued success is a testament to the showground and its persistent value to the community. Members will be aware that last year the Premier Barry O'Farrell opened the Castle Hill show, and I'd like to acknowledge again the ongoing commitment my predecessor, Mr Wayne Merton AM, has in his active involvement in the show. And if I could just also acknowledge the work of Judith Adam, Carol Baker, Bella Bath, Robert Cochrane, Ian Henderson, Ray Parker, Greg Petrin, Cheryl and Josh Rooney, Curran Smale, Marilyn Stoneham and Elaine White for their continued work on the committee. The Hills is one of Sydney's great districts and continues to home to one of our state's most energetic communities, and it's absolute pleasure that I represent the Hills district and its people in this House.
I thank the member for Baulkham Hills.